You gotta start speaking hymns and shit. Lord Jesus, give me peace. Hey everybody, I am your girl Haneef R Jordan. Welcome to my show. And before we get started, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Today I have my lovely friend Fran here, and we're just going to really dig into parenting and things, just the hardship of changing the way that you parent to be positive. And also, Fran had wrote this wonderful book, Can You Hear Me? And she's going to talk a little bit about that too, because that was just a revelation of really getting better at listening really to our children as a parent. So let's dig into it.
My youngest, that's my road dog, and the oldest is like, I really want to choke her out sometimes. Yeah, I'm saying this.
No, I said
on
this
social media.
Yeah, that part. That part. I don't want to get violent. Like, who you talking to? And even though they be 6 something, I'd be like, I'm ready to come on down here a little bit, just a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Just to also touch base back on like when you were talking about our parents, how we're not supposed to be heard, but just seen.
Right.
That even brought something up in me because it's still something that I'm still working through.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, even though I have in one area have gained success, that area for me is still an area of progress.
Yes, I understand.
Because
we have to get over our childhood trauma. But here's the thing, I don't think we don't get over, you get through it.
Yes.
I hope that makes sense, right? Through it.
I think that's a better word.
Yeah, when people say get over, I don't know how. I just know that I'm getting through it because I'm still.
You can still get over it. You know, you ride over the BS.
Yes, but here's the thing. My parents are not living anymore, so there's things that I'm still unpacking though. And although I turned 51. Yes, I did. I still
You look great.
Thank you. But here's what I'm learning. I'm still unpacking certain things. I think I told you a little bit of a snippet of my backstory, and for those that don't know, I'm a product of rape, and I'm also a survivor of it. So that dynamic for my mother, when a child isn't made from love, it's totally different, right? So the other children, yes, she loved their father. She had a good relationship with them until they didn't, and but for me that wasn't the case. So I look. As an adult now, I can understand it. Everything makes sense. I was a constant reminder of what she went through. And it was a brutal rape. You understand what I'm saying? So, and it did not look like her. That didn't help. You know what I'm saying? That didn't help anymore. However, I am grateful that God told death to be still, and my mom still had the courage to have me because, honey, you feel me? I wouldn't have the two that I have. Right, and so it's a blessing. So, but when I look back at that dynamic and I understand where I come from, I'm still unpacking stuff because I'm still getting information of who, my mother may have been or who my father really was and things of that nature. And so, DNA has memory, regardless of who you come from, right? And so why am I acting this way? Well, how do I identify and how do I change this stuff, right? And why do I respond this way?
I think I told you last time, because my mom, she would always say, you got just like your dad. I wasn't raised with my dad. And like you, my backstory is I was the other woman's baby. So my dad was married at the time. There's some tea.
That is some tea right there. That is some tea. Girl, we don't talk about that thing. Oh, we have to do part 2. You know what I'm saying? But just how you made it out of that. Because a child always suffers for the decisions of our parents. I always say for the sins of your parents.
Yes.
The child always suffers. And I'm trying my best to change some things as well as a mom because I just don't want my children to suffer.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. I do find myself, like when I am in that space with my kids, when we are finding ourselves in conflict, that I have to stop, take a breath, and recognize my BS when I'm in the middle of it, because there'll be like a space of whatever that thickness is, whatever I had created, because I have to take ownership of the That's right.
Well, yeah, and it ain't easy having to own your shit.
Right.
But girl, my kids, one day you gonna meet them, they just tell me about myself. I don't know, I raised them, I can't even get mad because I raised them like that. Oh my God, my son be calling me on my bull. And I don't like it, and sometimes it's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I am valid, but it's their perception, and so I'm learning to accept how they're perceiving something, and how can I break that down on why I'm reacting the way that I react. Right. And so it's just not easy. I try to tell them I'm doing my best as a parent. I'm trying to unlearn a lot of things. Well, I am unlearning a lot of things, and I want to be better because I love you guys, right? And then I also will not allow, and I'm sorry, but all parents, we know this, I don't allow manipulation though.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I still have to be your parent. There's still decisions and things that I have to make. However, I honor the communication.
Yeah, I'm having that conversation with the kids actually. We're talking about the manipulation portion. Like when I do feel that they're trying to behave in a way, to get their way, I'm like, hey, did you notice that you were doing this?
Right.
I was like, when I used to behave in this manner where I was manipulating you because I didn't want you to do a certain thing, that same behavior is what you're exhibiting. So what I want to tell you is, don't do that.
Yes.
And I want you to know I can identify that because that's how I used to behave.
Let's talk about it.
And I want you also to find a better way. And whatever that way is for you, shift your mindset.
Can I give you this about your oldest? God, I'm always talking to me in the middle of stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you this. I want you to know that your hard work is paying off.
Make me cry on camera.
Yes, I will. I make everybody cry on camera. Sorry, I do. I want you to know that your hard work is paying off. And what God is telling me right now is, give yourself some grace. You are too hard on yourself because you want to change it so quickly, but you have to remember that it takes time to unlearn the stuff that we've been programmed for 10 to 15, 20 years. It is not going to happen overnight. But what I do see is there's brightness at the end of the road. Our children still have to live. And so as they grow and God deals with them in their seasons, she will understand you later. Give yourself you're not giving yourself grace.
I can agree.
You're not giving yourself grace. And I don't know that, but that's what God is telling me. Give yourself grace. God gives you renewed grace every day. You need to give it to yourself too. He's already forgiven you for stuff. You got to forgive yourself too. And what I see later for you and your oldest though, y'all gonna be like this.
I hope so.
No, it's gonna happen. She just has to live more. Now, you can't do to her what God has to teach her. So you got to remove your hand.
I do see glimpses of it.
It's happening.
But like you said, I want
You gotta,
forward
yeah,
that
you
tape.
can't. You can't. We can't. I'm putting myself there, and we have to remove our hand and allow God to be God. A lot of times we try to do God's work, and we have to remove our hand. Your job is to pray. Your job is to love. Your job is to be open to your child. Your job is to listen and validate them. Don't make excuses. Validate their feelings, and your job is to also release them to God. So let's talk about this book. Let's talk about this book. Can you hear me? I want you to tell them what that book is about and how they can get it, where they can get it and how to follow you. So first, let's talk about how can you hear me? Because I think every parent should have it and also grab one for their child. Let's talk about it.
Thank you for that. Yes, that was a lot of accolades.
Hey.
Honestly, Can You Hear Me? It came out of the testimony based out of my experiences in 3 areas of my life. One that had to deal with my love life. The other one that had to deal with my children. And then the other one had to deal with work. And I told Haneef on a previous experience that all those areas of my life had collided. So it was asking me to come into a space where I needed to take ownership. And I thought I was.
Right. We all get it wrong. And then boom, God be like, nope, fix that.
Yeah. So I was actually working on this book like years ago, but it transitioned into something else where it talked about ownership and being in a space where I had to be vulnerable with myself, with the person that I was in a relationship with, in addition to with those that I work with. And which one did you want me to talk about first?
Oh my God, because we're on a parenting thing.
Okay.
Relationship-wise, relationships. I'm talking about like romantic ones.
Okay.
But I want to let's stick to that and talk about that. But then I do want to see how you the job one that had me cracking up. I was like, ooh, Lord, this is me, Jesus. I need to change the way that I be talking to people. Oh, I'm so offensive. Like she's talking about me. My temper, good Lord. But yeah, so no, but let's talk about the kids first because the babies, we want to do better for y'all.
Yeah. So my baby at the time she was 16, but she's 20 now. And then I forgot exactly how we got into conflict, but she would, if I would tell her to go take out the trash or something, she would turn around and tell me like, I'm not doing that. And I'm not sure about you guys, but if I talked to my parents that way, there wouldn't be any talking. There'd be like, you're about to fly across the room because that's exactly what that behavior.
It's disrespect.
Yeah, that's what I guess, that's how I was taught.
Same.
Yeah, so.
I know you didn't tell me. I know, girl, my mom like, she's gonna look at me. The look says, I know damn well your ass will just tell me what you're not gonna do. Somebody don't pay no bills.
I didn't even fix my mouth to say anything.
Like I was too scared because I'm not gonna do it.
I have Samoan parents, so they have nothing to play with. I'm sure you guys. So, anyways, when she said that to me at that time, I had already been going to therapy, learning how to behave in ways that are not physical.
The gentle parents.
Yes, gentle parenting. So I was doing corporal punishment with my children at the time.
Right.
But as I went through this therapy, it taught me how to self-regulate.
Okay.
And I didn't know what that was.
Right.
I'm like, self-regulate. If I feel I'm being offended, you about to hear exactly what is coming out of my mouth, and there's not going to be any filters. So one of the tools that they taught me was to use something called a password.
Okay.
And that password between me and my child would be a word to give us space and time.
That's
so
good.
that we can come back and communicate when we're ready.
That's good.
The problem was, what was the problem,
Right.
In the experience of it, I didn't know how to actually give her boundaries or time. So even though she told me whatever her password was, let's say it's Mickey Mouse,
Right.
I'd be like, oh, okay, that's fine. So, and I still want to get this solution to this problem that we're having, like 5 minutes.
They're not
after.
giving them a moment to
Right.
press and to kind of like get their thoughts together. Yeah, I'm guilty of it.
It wasn't until she was like, I said this. And I'm like, oh shit, this is real. I really have to like actually implement.
You got to do it. You got to implement it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like a day would pass, 2 days would pass. I'd ask her if she was ready. She's like, no, I'm not ready. I don't want to talk about this. Ooh, I was fumed.
That's that one I'm with my son. He's
Yeah.
up right now. I want to talk to you. I'm like,
Yes.
Jesus, ooh, Lord.
Yeah.
Lord.
Yes.
I go start singing hymns and shit. Lord, Jesus, give me peace. You feel me?
Something, right?
Oh my God. Because she'd be like, what?
So it wasn't after until multiple, what do you call that? Attempts.
Right.
Multiple attempts at this that I got better at giving her space.
That's good.
And we started to come back and talk to each other because when I wanted what I wanted, I came with the spirit of aggression.
Right.
I came with the spirit of just, I don't know what you call it.
I get it.
I wanted to do my own, I wanted
You want
it
to be
my
right.
way.
You wanted to hear what you had to
Yeah.
hear. And here's the thing, and I hope my kids one day will see this, is this. I love them so much. It's because of them that I am better.
Yes.
It's because of them that my life is enriched. But if that's the case, I gotta respect them, bro. Like, I gotta do better for them. I'm working on it.
I was gonna say, I'm still working on it.
I'm still a work in progress, but I love them. I am, girl. I'm rough, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm taking the lessons from people on the streets. I'm like, you know, I'm taking from you, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm about to go to jail, you know, but
I'm probably gonna get reprimanded for this in the future. I'll be telling my little one, you're my favorite one. So when the oldest one, she gets to this level, she'll be my favorite too.
Right. That part, you know. But we want the best for them. But the best for them is us being the best.
Better version of ourselves.
That's it, and that's all. Right there, we're gonna stop right there. That was adulting to me. That was real adulting to me. Because we all can throw tantrums. Right? That's easy to go through the emotion, to be angry, to be like, what you say? Well, we can be outside, you know what I'm saying? Because that was me. Y'all catch me outside. And catch these hands. Because I'm good with them. Okay. I like to sign signatures with these, you know, but anyway. I'm just saying, that's how I felt. When I read that book, I was like, oh, he got this signature right here.
I think that's one thing that my parents did teach me well, is these right here.
Fast.
I know how to communicate.
I can communicate. That's me. My mama too, like, what's up, square up. Don't let these heels fit this little waist fool you, okay? But adulting, what you did was adulting. You guys, the snippet, you guys got to get the book, but the way you guys fixed it, I was so proud. It taught me something. And it's so funny, after I read your book, I didn't get into it with a business owner. I took the adulting part of you, and the girl was actually broken, and I was able to minister to her, and it changed, and all she did was apologize. So when I say get this book, it helped me, because the old me, because when she came at me, I was ready to come at her too, you know what I'm saying? Like, the old me was like, what's up? I pull up, stop talking. You know, I don't do all the conversation. Right. You know, like, you've been talking too much.
We're here now.
Yeah, what's up? You know? But the adult in me saw something different. And when I read your book, I was able to identify this is coming from something else.
That's beautiful.
And I was able to minister to her. And girl, we good. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, thank you. And she had broke down and everything. You know what I mean? And so she was like, I was going through this. I was like, I understand. And I was so proud of myself. Because she did do the attack, you know what I'm saying? She really came for us. She really came for us, sister. I was like, oh my God, all right. Don't do it. Don't do it, girl. Don't do it, sis. It ain't worth it. That's not what God wants from you. You gotta be soft. And I didn't want to be soft. But I did. And that book showed me I didn't have to start off with the fighting. I could go ahead and move into the healing and into being a real adult. And a real adult learns how to communicate and also knows how to walk away. And so
It makes me so excited.
no, it's so good. And like, that book is so good, right? And so if we can learn as adults that I don't have to entertain every argument. I don't have to be there for a girl. I don't even have to respond.
Energy, right?
For what?
Right.
It doesn't matter. Whoever you're arguing with is not going to even see it that way anyway. So what do I have to prove? It's okay for me to walk and exit.
Awesome.
And it doesn't make me weak. Because here's the thing, I already know, even though, we can feel that way, I've been there. I've walked away from stuff, it's like, they don't think I'm a punk, man, I ain't no punk. You know what I'm saying? But man, for what? What do I have to prove? Nothing. I know I got hands. I don't need to prove it to nobody else. You know what I mean? The only time I really need to use this is to protect myself. So I don't have to fight. I can be a lady. I can be a woman. I can put down the old hood part of me. That's not there anymore. I don't have to live there. I don't have to fight anymore.
Right.
So I love that I was able to adult, and I want to thank you for that. All right, so absolutely. All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in to Haneef R Jordan. Please subscribe to my channel and definitely follow me on Instagram. And please get this book. Can you hear? Yes.